I see so many participants, but none of you have turned on your cameras. But I saw in today's session in the afternoon that quite a few of you had your cameras on. May I know what is the reason? मतलब अभी you guys are relaxing on your beds ऐसा इसलिए है? अच्छा नहीं. You guys are sitting on your study desk. That's some level of dedication, I guess, which I didn't have, unfortunately. At least I should appreciate the effort. Am I clearly audible? Because there was some complaint last time that my voice was not loud enough. Is this fine, Sumit? We'll start, guys, in just a while. Once we go live, I think we're trying to go live on YouTube for the participants who want to join us on YouTube. So how was
Sorry for interruption. We are live. You can start the session.
Perfect. All right, so welcome, guys. Welcome to today's fourth session. I guess you had your first session with me, which was the launch, sort of an introduction, and then you had your decoding the first semester, something of that sort, right? And then today in the afternoon you had the session on LinkedIn. So I think you have started off on the right footing, and today I'm not going to take you through a lot of slides. It's more of trying to explain you things very simply and briefly, because that's the idea. And then maybe towards the end I'll take a few questions to help you understand if you have any doubts for that matter. All right. So I'll try and keep this session interactive as well, guys. So please, when I ask you guys to reply and respond to my questions, please do so. Okay, I'm not gonna respond to that remark, Prebbi. Anyways, so let's recap. In the first session, I talked about expectations. Before that, I talked about the journey that your MBA starts somewhere in the month of June, depending on the B school, and you have your first week of induction, wherein there are different clubs and all those things that are pitched to you, and then your classes start after the week one. So from week two, it's the hectic part sort of kicks off. You have your classes, and then for I think by about July mid or towards the end of the July, you'll have your midterms, and then towards the end of your August, I think you'll have your final terms, and by that time, I think most placement committees have already started asking students to prepare and get their CVs verified. And shortly after that, I think your CVs are frozen within like 2 or 3 weeks, and then the companies start coming on campus by early October, if not late September. Yeah, October is by the time that companies start coming to campus. So you'll have companies coming on your platform. So all B schools have a platform on which we have some guys, quite a few artists in our midst. Thank you for the artwork. But yeah, so where was I? I think I was talking about your platforms. So you'll have a platform. We used to have a platform called Superset, wherein you upload your CV, and then companies start coming one by one, and they'll give you shortlist, and then you'll receive some exam links, some test links. You'll be tested on cognitive ability, psychometrics, and all that. And then by the mid of October, they are on campus. some IIMs are still using emails. Oof. Anyway, so that's the process, and then I took you through the journey, and then we also talked about the expectations and reality, what you expect, what you have been saying in different interviews that I have taken with you guys. Um, the aspiration to learn about business and do all those things, right? And but the reality is very different. And then we talked about different categories of students that you will encounter. The A's, right? They don't need much help. They have things sorted. They have strong profile, good work ex, and have clarity. And obviously, strong communications goes hand in hand with success in corporate. So they have that for them. Then you have guys at B and C, which do well, and I mean they make most of the opportunities that comes to that B school. And we would want everyone in this session today to steer to those categories. Do not fall out of B or C category. Don't fall into the D category wherein you start struggling and you're waiting for that opportunity, and even if you get one, you're not able to convert them. That's uh, the tough part. I think if you have an opportunity, you would want to convert it if it's a good opportunity. And most of you are going to could be schools, so you'll have quite few opportunities, but I'd appreciate if you convert your first one. Then in the session, I think that Satya took yesterday on first trimester, he took you a lot of different things that you'll have in first trimester, your case comms, ACADS, your placements and all that, right? CV building. The key word is you have to prioritize. You cannot do all, given your profile, given everything, given your strengths. There are only certain things you can do. So you'll have to pick and choose. Time management, what you guys have been struggling with, right? It's time to not struggle with it anymore. It's time to solve it. And the key word is prioritize. You have to prioritize. Everything is not equally important. You have to make trade-offs, right? So now coming to today's session, so I have an exercise. The next slide is the start of the fourth session, right? And I have an exercise for you guys. I'm gonna give you guys around 10 seconds, okay, to look at that slide, and then I'm gonna ask you a few questions which I want you to respond to in the chat. Okay, perfect. Everybody is attentive, please. If you're not, एक बार sit straight, ठीक है? Yes. All right. Ready. So this is a CV. I want you guys to quickly look at it, and you just have 10 seconds, right? Perfect. 10 seconds. हो गया 10 seconds. ठीक है. Now I want to ask you guys something. You are supposed to interview this guy. What will you ask him? What from his profile will you ask him? Somebody said marketing related. POR. Somebody said POR. Wow. Life project related. Don't tell me. You're supposed to look at the CV and tell me what questions will you ask him. All these are coming from your own experiences. You're not look at a BCom. Somebody said BCom. Is it there, Manish? Okay, somebody was looking at the ACADS. What kind of sales he did in sales in Acha. Okay. Vivek. Online delivery. What are you researching? Okay. Why low ACADS? Why low? Divyansh is probably gonna be an HR. Why should we hire you? It's not generic stuff that you'll be asking. I'm asking, that are hygiene questions, right? Academics is low. What you did in gap year? Oh, he had a gap year. Walk me through your resume, Dipanshu. Alright. So see, you guys are asking important questions, right? Now let me go back to this CV. Does he have any gap years? I don't see any gap years. Do you guys see any gap years? So that question was incorrect. You're not observing correctly, right? He did do BCom. So you're gonna ask about BCom. Some of you are asking why low ACADS. See, that's why recruiters also ask the same question. Why low acads? And then somebody said ki what you did as a sales intern. So that's a good question. I think you guys picked up because it was in bold, right? Mention something which is not on your resume. See, those questions come in, but they don't come in. Usually in an interview, that question may come towards the end of the interview or somewhere in between, not at the start. Usually, that's how interviews progress. Ask a coherent story of whatever they did. See, Mark, that is the idea. He in the 10 seconds, because that is how fast actually processes work. You don't have 10-15 minutes to read the profile about the candidate and then he walks in and then you interview. No. In a B school, they are giving shortlist to like 50 students who will be participating in a GD. From those 50, they are going to interview 20 for one role possibly, or let's say 2 roles. And if an interview takes around, or if a panel takes around like 30 minutes, and there is no, it's not like there is only one round. There may be 2 rounds, 3 rounds, right? So they only have that day, and some of them don't even have that day, or they only have the first half. So it's like tuck. Things happen very fastly, and they only have that much time when you walk in and you get seated to look at your resume. That's it, and they will start asking you questions immediately. That is why I only gave you 10 seconds, because that's the average amount of time that they will look at, because in their experience they know what to look at. If your CV is not correctly formatted, if it does not stand out, if you have not done a good enough job to tell them what they should ask you, it's your mistake. It's not their loss. Somebody else who has done well, has focused on it, he'll get the opportunity. They'll ask him the right or her the right questions, right? So the idea to critique this profile is, some things you cannot change, your cards you cannot change, right? Internships, is it too wordy? What do you think, are the weaknesses in this resume, in this CV? Long lines, no numbers, long lines, no numbers. Yes, less numbers, more paras, obviously. What is the purpose of writing a bullet point if you're writing 3 long lines, which is like a paragraph? Is it actually a bullet point then? Unquantified information, absolutely. Nothing stands out. I don't know if everything is important between the texts. Should I read everything? Is everything equally important? No, right? So that's an opportunity that you miss when you don't optimize your CV for the person who is reviewing it. So I just wanted to give you an idea, experience ki how a recruiter looks at things in your SIP and in your some finals as well. That's how he'll look at. Okay. Anybody has any questions that they want to ask me around this? Should I have highlighted important keywords which should impact? Absolutely, right? Keywords are very important. The CV explains too much and leaves little room for engaging questions. Absolutely, Mark. That's true. Key points are not highlighted. Yeah. Yep, that's true. Shortlist students start getting shortlist right in October. Yes, absolutely. So you have June, July, August, September. You don't have 5 months. I don't know how you're calculating 5 months, Amisha. You only have probably 4 months. And obviously from that, you only have 3 or so months, because your CV is logged a month before companies start coming to campus. You cannot make any changes. Nobody can make any changes. Everything is frozen. The verification process ends. And all those placecom horror stories, okay, they sort of stop because the CV freezing CV is already frozen. They see, B schools have a format, so this is the usual format that they have. your academic profile comes first, then your experience, which may include your full-time experience or some internships, and then your life projects or academic projects, and then your PORs, and then your awards and achievement. This is the usual flow. They move section up and down, but largely this is the flow. The reason why it is such, I'll explain in the next slide, where I'll give you the framework, the key concepts. So, you want to look at my CV? I don't have my CV readily, but I can share a screenshot. All right. So I'll go to the next slide. So your CV is basically, the idea is that you have to look at your CV as an asset, right? So a great example, how I discovered and how I learned to analyze CVs and look at CVs, right, is to look at it as a real estate. See it as a land, right? Land is quite an attractive asset. Okay, it holds a lot of value. Your CV is just like it. Okay, it holds a lot of value, especially for you, and it has various parts which are not equally important. Some are more important than the other. Right? Now, from what I understand and what I have learned is, you can break it down into an F framework. So you can break your CV into an F. The first part is actually the most important, which we call prime real estate. So some B schools will have academics and some keywords written on top. For example, if you have done CFA, they'll write CFA certified. If you are a CA, they'll write CA certified. If you have worked in some XYZ company, they'll write that consultant at Accenture, your past experience. Some after those keywords and academics, some swap out academics with WorkX. Again, it depends on B school to B school, but largely your first 10-15% or 20% is prime real estate. It's the most important part of your CV. So because from the interaction that we have right now, right, some of you were asking questions around ACADS. Why is that? Why do you think that happened? Because that's the place that your eye gets fixated when you look at a CV, when you look at a resume. So your top 20 to 30% actually get 80% of attention if you have prepared them well, and if you have points to talk about. Your interview will be done by then only. They won't go into anything else. They'll ask you then questions around hygiene, what you like, what you enjoy. That's it, and then your interview will be done. So your first top section is your prime real estate. Also, the left hand side of your CV is your high value asset, high value land, as compared to right hand side. So you need not fill everything, every space on right hand side. No, you can keep some breathing room, but your left hand side, that is your high value area, high value asset, and you have to ensure that your top to bottom left hand side has those right keywords. Because remember, somebody asked he did some sales internship, he did some marketing internship. Why were you able to capture? Again, your brain analyzes a CV in that way. Recruiters are no different. They also look at your CV in a similar fashion. The first section gets the maximum attention. They go from left to right, and then they glance to the left side to try and find something that is interesting and exciting and probably relevant to what they're offering on campus. Anybody has any questions up till now? What do you think? Were you guys aware that this is how you actually look at a CV? The psychology of it? Were you aware? This is something new that you are discovering for the first time? No. It's a yes. Mark says yes. Perfect, Mark. So some of you was aware of the first part. Perfect. It's new. Yes. So first you have to understand the psychology, right? Ki what is being looked at, and then only you'll be able to place your best along those lines wherein they get noticed and they sort of ask you and quiz you around that, when you're able to show an alignment and better fitment. Now what usually is there in a CV, again, briefly I'm trying to put things into perspective. On top, either you have first ACADS and then experience, or experience first and then ACADS. Either way, they get the most attention, most relevant. Most of your interviews, if you have these two areas that are strong, they'll revolve around that only. Then comes the middle portion, which again gets quite a bit of attention, because again, as I said, now your top part gets most attention, but as I said, you have to look at the real set as an F. So the second arm of the F, which has your corporate projects which are relevant to your MBA, your academic projects which are relevant to your MBA, your case comps which are relevant to your MBA. So the first part, shows your capabilities, your quality, your character, how consistent you have been in life, okay, how good have you been in life, how much effort have you put into things that you're trying to work on, okay. And then in the second cohort lies how much effort you have put in since coming into the MBA program. If you have nothing to show, or you have very less to show in academics and experiences, it is still understandable. But what have you done in this 3-4 months or whatever time that you got to prepare for your summers? Then they'll pick your brains on your corporate project, your academic projects, and your case comp, because these are relevant. These will be relevant to the roles as well. You have to ensure that these are relevant. For example, if let's say I'm a marketing student, what do you think should I write in my academic projects or corporate projects? Just tell me in the chat box. Everybody, please tell me ki, according to your specialization that you want to intend, what do you think will go in the middle section? Let's say you don't have much ACADS or experience. Okay, you're a fresher. What would you add in the middle portion? Case comps, so obviously you don't know, but in terms of corporate and academic projects, what do you think? What topics will you cover? Select your specialization in marketing and then write. Certification won't come in the middle portion. Again, certifications are falling below, which get very less attention, and they usually fall under that left hand side scan that the HRs do, okay, from top to bottom. Then only they'll be able to pick your certification. Usually they don't follow your certifications horizontally. GTM, strategy project, yes, for marketing, obviously you can, yes. Projects which show some application, study on consumer behavior, yes, that is something that can go in your academic or corporate projects. Call it acad projects, Anchalva. I intend with graduate food and so projects like yield movement, yes. Waste reduction, time motions project, absolutely. Brand outreach competition, absolutely. Yeah, you guys are right. So these are kind of things which are relevant for them as well. For let's say the topics that you mentioned for marketing, it's relevant. You have some exposure which they will then evaluate basis their understanding to check what you have written, is it true or not. A/B testing for digital marketing, absolutely. Yeah, true. Anybody has any questions up till now? See, there are some things that you cannot change. Can you change your academics? No. Can you change your experience? I don't think you can. And I don't recommend any other means of trying to change your experience, please. And I think you're wise enough to make the right choices. Can you change your corporate projects? Can you add something? Yes, absolutely you can add. There are different live projects that you can do. Can you work on your academic projects? Yes, when you get into a B school, make sure that in the first trimester you're not just taking any random project with no real material that can be shown in your summers. Pick something that is quantitative. It will require research effort, but you have to do it, because that will add value. And again, if you can do case comms, nothing like it, because they are a project in themselves. You pick a case, understand the multiple perspectives, and then you try and solve a problem in that case. And the problem is not very obvious. You have to do some sort of analysis and research to identify that specific problem. Otherwise, everything will seem like, okay, this is also an issue, this is also an issue, but can we solve everything? I mean, it might be the case that there are 10 different problems, but can you solve everything? No. You have to identify the major problems, one or two, and then solve them. So case comms are a good way. Then POIs and certifications, you can do as many as you like. If you're the top part and then the bottom part, if you have not done well, struggle is real. Okay, then you will struggle to stay in that A, B and C category of students. Most likely be in D, and God forbid you are not in E. I don't want none of you guys. I mean, you're smart enough, so I don't think you'll fall in that category anyways. But yeah, what's the vetting process? So the vetting process is, if you're talking specifically with respect to CV or your profile, both are different. Profile vetting usually takes place on the platform. It's AI driven, or somebody on the other side is crunching some numbers against your profiles, and that's how it works out. Okay. And then profile vetting is very simple, yeah. 10 seconds. That's all an HR will give you, especially in summers. In finals, maybe they'll give you 20-30 seconds. But I remember one of my faculties who works at a very big tech company, and he was the global HR head. He used to say ki when a guy walks in, or when a person walks in for the interview, in the first 3-4 seconds, he usually used to make up his mind ki, am I gonna like him or like her or not? Only in the first 3-4 seconds. That's how he used to judge candidates. But again, not everybody is so experienced or like that, but yeah, they don't give you much time. The idea was to tell you ki you will hardly have enough time. Nobody gives you a minute, trust me. Anybody has any questions? Acha, one tip for you guys when you are making your CVs, add numbers and quantifiers, because again we saw right in the earlier CV there was no numbers and there was no quantification. So this is basically your breakdown of your CV, parts to focus on, parts to improve. If you already have good acads, good experience, make most of it. If you don't, try and focus on the areas that you can, the middle portion. Okay, improve it. These two, you either have the first one or the second one. You still have an option to improve your CV. If you don't have the first one, then you focus on the second part. Anybody has any questions? If I have a few people, I don't know, UG, should you lift the college? What kind of proof? You'll need to mail your college, right, on the official email ID, and then they'll respond to your college ka email ID, the MBA college, the email ID of your MBA college. And then once it's approved, then probably they'll accept it as a proof and let you add the PUR. That's the idea. Ambuj. So now we have broken down the CV and try to understand what parts are important and what are not so important or less important, right? Now let's try and get into the next slide, which talks about the don'ts. Okay, first I'll tell you don'ts, then we'll probably go into do's. Don't add jargons, please. I know sometimes it may seem a little fancy, oh, I added this jargon, and then now the recruiter will be really happy, right? But see, recruiters are not reading like you guys. They have work, they interact with people, they solve problems. We are not reading. Even if we have studied, we have forgotten some of these jargons. So if you write a jargon, I'll simply skip. I am not here to be taught. When I say I am trying to say recruiter. The recruiter is not here to be taught jargons and learn jargons from you. No, he has done his learning, okay, and so jargons are fancy words. You can explain something very easily. For example, I can say ki please keep your sentence shorter, okay, or I can use a word ki please be succinct. A succinct is not a jargon, but I'm just trying to give an example. Right, so you don't want to throw those words, fancy words. Keep it very simple. Simple is key. Simple, he'll understand. After interviewing like 10 guys, nobody is interested in reading complex words. Write simple sentences with simple words. Second is grocery list or laundry list. Don't list all your achievements. Not everything is not important. Pick and choose which is adding value. Adding value in terms of variety, adding value in terms of outcome based or quantifiers, or adding value in terms of some keywords which may help you with AI or CV screening. These three things only. And the idea is the process that I'd suggest is make a list of 10. If you want to add 5 points from a particular experience, make a list of 10. And then you evaluate which is more important, which is not, and then you pick and choose. If you make only 5, it will be like a list, and then you won't be able to choose, and then it won't be refined. So make at least 3 or 4 extra points from a given experience. Zero quantification, like the first CV we saw. No quantification. If you write grammar, write literature, please expect no encouragement or appreciation from the recruiter. Okay, because it's hard enough to read stories, right? How many of you read books? Is it easy to read books? No, right? So quantifiers are very important. Nobody likes to read long English sentences and try and figure out what actually you did. Numbers will tell me this was the achievement, I'll understand. Now you try and tell me I achieved more than this, more than that. Simply tell me how much you achieved against your target. Was it 80? Was it 90? Was it 75? Right? And the last one is don't make any grammatical mistake. I know this is very silly, and you may think, come on, do you think we'll make mistakes? We have cleared CAT. But trust me, I have seen people write funny things in their CV. I saw a CV who had written, I have done an internship at ISIS. Okay, that's the statement that accidentally I think he had written. He wanted to write something else. ISA something, that was the organization name. But accidentally he wrote ISIS, and the placecom also did not figure it out that this is something that is misspelled or wrongly spelled. Okay, and then the person sat for the summers and everything happened. So in that moment when things are really busy, give yourself some time to review the CV. Okay, take a look at it, show it to others, show it to your seniors. If you have mentors from PEPB, if you enroll any course, then probably use them. It does not take much to send your CV and ask him, can you please read it? Give him a day or 2 at max, and they'll be able to respond without a doubt. Don't make such mistakes. Grammatical mistakes are, if you make any grammatical mistakes, HRs will catch you, and it puts you in a very bad light. Because I know when people send us CVs, I happen to be one of those guys who is not in TA, but my TA team sometimes shows me a few CVs, right? And then I am picking the mistakes. This sample was taken from that website. See, the watermark is still here. Or this person did not remove the placeholders. Okay, so don't make such silly mistakes. Okay, so now we have looked at things not to do. We'll talk about things that you should keep in mind. So when you are creating your CV, right, it's your story, you should use action verbs. Why action verbs? Because they are very powerful. For example, I led, I coordinated, I delivered. These are action verbs, and they are very powerful. They invoke imagination, right? So it's very important to start your pointers with power verbs. And then what you did, you need to explain ki what outcome you achieved. Otherwise, why will they listen to you? है ना? They'll be like, तो क्या? What if you have done this? You simply write a pointer. They'll think in their mind ki what shall I do? So if you explain ki this is the outcome that I achieved, na, it helps build credibility. It makes your candidature that much stronger. Kacha, this is something that you did. You are someone who is outcome oriented. You want, whatever you do, you want to create an impact. Any time and resources that you spend will have some outcome. Next is quantified results, right? You need to mention numbers. Again, I have said it I think now thrice. Please quantify, and always think of your projects, your any internship ki you try and get some quantifiers, numbers to compare, to show. It may talk about, so quantifiers can be of scale or of achievement. So either they can be related to your outcomes. Yeah, I achieved this much outcome, I achieved this much impact. Or they can talk about scale as well. Ki my role involved managing this much vendors, which is my next point, context or scale. Now to give an example, now before I give an example, do you guys have any questions? I'll give an example. What if he was just being ठीक है. Quantify honestly. Yes. I hope yes. ठीक है. So I'll give you an example. So this is the example. The example is that Dawn is being searched by police of many countries. Now I want you guys to try and use these 4 concepts that I have taught you and make this into a very strong pointer. This is a live exercise. Come on. Try and see what sections can you use that I have just mentioned. You can give me a pointer. I'll give you guys a minute or so. If you guys are watching on YouTube, please make sure to write in the chat box. And probably the admin can tell me what you guys are writing. So I'll be able to look and review. Give it a shot, guys. It's not that much hard. See, if you don't move your fibers here, then you'll fall asleep. Trust me. And this is very interesting, yeah. Come on, no, don't tell me that nobody has watched Dawn movie. It sure brings some memories back, right? Toota Foota ही say whatever you guys can. Please tell me. So I didn't watch. Spearheaded the search of Dawn of Seven Nations. 100 मुल्कों की police. That's the pointer, Avantika, that you're gonna write. Police of how many countries are searching the Dawn. No. Think of it as a pointer. Dawn is writing this on his CV as an experience. How will he write? Quantified result. Maybe he can talk about context or scale, what he did, or can he start with a powerful verb? Was searched by police of 100 plus countries. 100 plus countries. Quite a quantifier. I think you are taking inspiration from Prebbi. The admin that was right there in the chat. Dawn made police of 36 countries chase him. See, Delnaz, is it starting with a power verb or action verb? Can you do something about it? Can you add? Police of 100 nations is not able to find me. Orchestrated a cat and mouse chase. Harsh, that's a good try. I have to give it to you. That's a good try. Orchestrated a cat and mouse chase by police officers of multiple countries. That's a good try. I am wanted by the police in multiple countries. Is it a statement or a pointer for your CV? Shah. Don escaped the police of 20 countries. Matlab, Yashika, you are writing a pointer. Assume that you are a Don. So you won't write na ki Don or Yashika escaped the police of 20 countries. Will you write it like that? Is Don the first word a power action verb? I executed a campaign where I was responsible for stealing 15 stores and over 7 countries police expressed their interest to work with me. Okay, that's a good story. You have built some context, okay, and try to quantify using scale. Provoked and got immense attention from police department of 10 plus countries. Inspired. This is starting. Both of you guys, Adil and Mark, you're starting with a action verb. That's good. Inspired a multinational task force of 50 plus countries to apprehend me, utilizing 20 million to coordinate manhunt resources. That's a good try. Responsible for impacting criminal activities. ठीक है. I am gonna read a little fast. False and chased by police officers by 100 nations. Chase. Avantika, is it a good action verb? I mean, it's an action verb, but managed भी ठीक है. मतलब I'll give you okay points. Managed to stay महफूज. See, you cannot use English, right? Deceive the police. Deceive a negative word. You won't start your pointers with negative words, please, guys. Deceive the police of 7 countries. Even if you have done some bad, you have to portray it nicely. Successfully ran circles around police of 10 countries. ठीक है. Good try. Some good tries. Alright. So I just wanted to give you an idea. See, there's no right or wrong answer to this, right? And obviously you know why there's no right or wrong answer. So yeah, you can write evaded. Again, that's not a good word to start. Evaded police authorities across 11 countries, showcasing mobility, adaptability under. So there's a mistake, grammatical mistake. Don't make these mistakes, guys. Don't be me. Be yourself. Right? So this guy is showing mobility and adaptability under high pressure conditions. I think a decent pointer. Shows some skill sets that he has been able to develop, and there is obviously one quantifier which is based on context or scale. So I think this was a good exercise for you. Moving on. Before I move on, do you guys have any questions? Any questions? Zero downtime, ensuring zero downtime. ठीक है, perfect. No questions, guys. किसी को नींद आ रहा है? Anybody is falling sleepy, needs a water break, tea break, coffee break, dinner break? Hope not. I hope you guys are not going for a dinner break. Are certifications enough for PR, prior internship proof? Certification may be enough for POR, but internship proof, no. You'll need pointers to be verified from that authority that you are working with. What if I manage a team of 10 in my work X? How can I prove it? You have to get it on email from your manager or the relevant authority right now if your manager has left the organization. अभी तो मेरा शुरू हुआ है. अच्छा वैसा है, ठीक है, कोई नहीं. Alright guys, so let's move on to the next part, which is your personal branding. Now why is this session important? Because again, I think Ayush has already taken a session today on LinkedIn and why you need to. There are some things which are very important, okay? And you guys have been saying it so many times. I have heard this line so often that I want to network, I need to do an MBA to network, and I agreed with you guys that is the most valuable thing that you would do in an MBA. degrees are not that valuable. Okay, the first job that you're gonna land from campus, maybe that adds some value, but it's only up till the first job. But are you spending 20 lakhs for that only one opportunity that you'll be getting? But that's just one thing, no, right? So the second most important part is your network. And trust me, a lot of this uh, affects your marketability, your employability, right? And personal branding is tied very closely to that, your networking and your employability. How? I'll tell you. So first, to simply put, your personal brand is what people perceive of you. Okay, if somebody asks, how is this guy, how is that guy, how is this girl, how is that girl, so what they say is your personal brand. My friends, when somebody asks them how is Saurav, the sentence that they use to say to explain who I am, in their mind, what is the persona that they have of me, the idea that they have of me, that is your personal brand, the impression that you leave on your people. In MBA, you'll usually have three different personal your brands, I mean individual brands, which is in your campus how people perceive you, again how your friends see you, how your professors see you, professors who are part of the college and who are visiting faculty, how they perceive you. I think the first day I was talking ki your visiting faculty can offer you opportunities. I know some of my friends who got to work with one of the big 5 consulting companies because the professor or the visiting faculty that used to teach us was a chief business officer. He was a director, and so they one day asked him ki, sir, do you have any opportunities, can you recommend us? And obviously if somebody is recommending from that level, usually nobody says no. HRs usually don't say no to that person, they simply accept because they know internship, summer internship या ऐसा कुछ है, तो this guy is only for that much amount of time, they can, does not cost much, so they can open doors for you. So what impression are you creating on them? It affects your internal recommendations. Why? Because your seniors will be on campus for that 1 year. So how do they perceive you? Because towards the end what will happen is they'll create a group or they'll create some platform wherein you will join your seniors after you graduate, and whenever you need some help, right, or you want some referrals, you'll reach out in that group. Okay, I need some connections in that group, in that company XYZ, and your seniors will know. Somebody will ask your seniors, if the guy working in that company that you are looking for, right, it's the guy passed out 6-7 years ago, he'll reach out to someone junior. He'll know who he can reach out to. He can reach out to the student, the president of the student council or the HR council or whatever the committee member was, whoever he knows from your senior batch, and ask a feedback about you. And then probably, because nobody wants to recommend a wrong person, guys. The onus lies on us. If you recommend somebody who has not a strong character, is not hardworking, does not show up when needed, it falls on you. People associate this guy's recommendations are not so nice, so people are very cautious. And obviously while you're on campus, it will affect your committee selections, and some of recruiters actually talk to placement cell. So if you don't have good relations or you are infamous in your college for whatever, you have some notoriety in your college, so that will carry. They will not say good things about you to the recruiters. Even after selection, they go and talk to your placement cell members or directors. How is it? How is this person? Can you give me some background? Yeah, it's not that you agree. It's just how you are perceived. Are you sincere? Do you do your job? Do you take projects seriously? Do you show up when it matters. Next is your digital brand. I think Ayush took a very elaborate session on LinkedIn. Okay. Recruiters do check LinkedIn. During my summers, quite a few of my friends told me कि during the interviews they asked the panel asked my friends कि so you don't post much on LinkedIn ऐसे करके, because we were going through your LinkedIn just like that. Some are very open. They say कि if you get shortlisted, we'll go through your LinkedIn. One company that I can recall, probably India's biggest automaker for private vehicle manufacturers, private vehicle. अच्छा नाम बता ही देता हूँ. So Maruti Suzuki. I think when they came to our campus, they simply said कि we are gonna go through your LinkedIn. So please keep your LinkedIn updated. If we are shortlisting you, we are gonna go through. So they want to see कि if you are active, if everything is updated, ठीक है, and is it aligned. That is also key important. You need to look at your LinkedIn, right, and see if it's aligned. I'll give you some pointers to evaluate. Let me see if I have those pointers. ठीक है, I have those pointers. So I'll give you some points to improve on this. Next is your interviews. So the moment you land up a chance to be interviewed, you walk into that room, right? The panel will not know much. He has only seen a CV and some score, some psychometric that you gave. But the way you walk in, sit and talk for the first few minutes, right? That tells a lot about your brand. And what happens in an interview, I'll tell you, it's not that people don't have things on the CV that they have written. They have quite a bit of content, because again you get time to prepare, and the writing you can take help from anyone and write. But there's a disconnect when the interview starts asking specifics from your CV. Most people are not able to understand what he is asking, not able to answer precisely. So that's a big red flag. You need to know what you have written in your CV, line by line, should be able to explain. For example, your CV says data driven marketeer, right? You have written a line that uses this word, and in the interview you are not able to explain a single metric that you were tracking. That puts you in a very bad light. There is no recovering from such a fatal mistake. It's a fatal mistake. It ends your interview right then and there. There is no saving that. So it's very important to preserve this. Now I wanted to write interview specifically because this happens. I know it is silly. Who will not know about? See, it happens because you need practice. While preparing your CV, you will be in that mood, and you'll take help from your seniors. You'll write those beautiful lines. You'll fill your CV beautifully, and then for 1 month your CV is frozen. Companies are coming on Superset on different platforms. You're giving exams, tests, but you're not having any interviews, and you're busy with your academics, whatever is going on. You forget to revise things because you have not actually done some of the things that you have written. And if you don't revise or ensure that you cover those bases, it's very down. It's very, very, very common. That is why I have written. Otherwise, I won't have written. It is very common. Okay, so anybody has any questions? Otherwise, I'll move on to the next section and then probably I'll close. Yeah. So I'll go to my last slide after this. Sir, will you please review my LinkedIn and let me tailor it? I think LinkedIn ke liye there is another session which was already taken, I think. And you have mentor Ayush, who is an expert in LinkedIn. I don't know how many followers he has, but yeah, he's an expert, I think. Alright, so I'll go to the last. I'm not jealous, guys. I'm not jealous. I don't post much, and I know even if I have less followers, it's completely fine. I have not focused much on LinkedIn. Okay, I have some other pursuits. Okay, I'll quickly move on to the last slide. So try this. Write your professional identity in one sentence. Professional identity, when I mean professional identity, it has to tell me certain skill set, certain qualities that you'll bring in professionally. Okay, in a sentence or two, don't take more than that. And this is the first exercise. And the second exercise, write your personal identity in one sentence. Now I want you guys to do this right now. Write your personal identity in one sentence. Do this wherever you are watching me. Please do this. I'm gonna give you guys 30 seconds because personal identity is quite easy, right? You know yourself. Everybody knows themselves, right? And it's just a sentence that I want you to write. Please. It's not a problem, Amisha, but you should show some activity. ठीक है, engage, at least engage with other people's content. You can repost them. That also adds value. It shows कि अच्छा, this is the kind of thing that he likes and enjoys and tracks and follows and is active, helpful. Personal identity in a sentence, Prebbi. I'm sorry, that may not be personal. I wanted to write on the second one, which is personal identity, because professional, you may not. I am a guitarist enthusiast who also enjoy playing with animals and like brainstorming on Rubik's cube. Okay, good try, Divyansh. I think good first try. Okay, needs refinement, absolutely. Because I'm talking from the perspective of branding. See, you are branding yourself. This is who I am. Can you do better? Personally, I like disturbing live sessions. That's very apt. Personal identity, Mr. Admin. I can vouch for it. That's a correct branding of you. Future MBA in marketing who translate the latest pop culture trends into. Is it a personal identity, Amijot? Is it personal? Understand the word personal. Confident narrative speaker. Please articulate थोड़ा सा इसको better, Amisha. The ideas are nice. You're confident, you're narrative, but थोड़ा सा, can you give me some, either give me some background or some context as to why? Tie it into something. Build a narrative, build a thread. I am an anime lover and like to solve Sudoku. Sorry, guys. It's 11, so yeah. Honest and trustworthy individual who likes to listen to people and help others in getting better in any way possible from my side. Rafael, okay, that's a very genuine statement. Avid debater, public speaker and creative writer. Okay, is this your personal identity, Mark? I mean, would you write a personal identity in this way? Or you're just giving me 3 of your qualities? Future MBA, ठीक है. I'm a finance enthusiast with more than 4 years of experience in capital market investment. That may be a good professional identity. Actually, that is a really good professional identity, Rahul. It talks about your interest, right? Guys, please focus on this. So Rahul writes, I'm a finance enthusiast with more than 4 years of experience in capital market investment. This is a good statement that is presenting a professional identity, because he is talking what he is interested in. Then in the same statement he is also quantifying in the sense that he is showing how much depth he has. That 4 years of experience that talks about depth. Okay, what sort of deeper understanding can you expect from this guy? So that is actually a good one-liner. And he has specifically mentioned capital market investment, capital markets, professional rage weight. Okay, civil engineer, part-time photographer, helping civil engineers to get good opportunity in construction world. Okay, future MBA. I'm gonna. ठीक है. All right, perfect. The third one is if a recruiter searched you on LinkedIn, what will he find? For example, if I'm a recruiter, I am recruiting for your role. ठीक है. What will I find? Are you active? Do you follow certain people, certain individuals? Do you repost? Do you like their post? Can I see it on your profile? Is it updated? The basic question is it updated? Have you taken the effort to upload your formal pic when you are actually visible? Not standing in some distant corner, but your face is visible, lit, proper, professional. And is your education listed? Is your experience listed? An updated profile is the bare minimum that a recruiter expects, especially from you guys. The last one, which is again going to be very key, ठीक है, absolute. अगर पूरे slide में in the entire session, if not done anything, you have not taken any notes that you would like to do, please do this. Imagine the role you're trying to get into. Now go to your LinkedIn, ठीक है, and try and look it from a perspective. Let's say if you are a recruiter or a hiring manager who is hiring for that role which you have in your mind that you want to get into, look at your LinkedIn profile and see what does it tell you. Is there any alignment between that profile that you have mentioned and the role that you imagine to get, the role that you are trying to get into? Imagine if you have anything that aligns with it. What in your profile tells me that you are the one, you are the right fit for that role? This is a very powerful exercise. Do it at least 2 or 3 times and take notes. Where do you think it's lacking? What can you do? What can you write? The different sections in your LinkedIn. I think today we had a session on LinkedIn wherein the panel had broken into different aspects. Try and see where you can write what. Draw out something. Talk to your seniors. What you can do in a certain span of time. Or take mentorship help. Whatever you need and you're comfortable with. Do this exercise if you want to create a LinkedIn or a profile which is strong. And because a lot of recruitment happens on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the marketplace for us, the HRs. That is the first thing where we go. We go to LinkedIn, we try and scout. After you are done, after you get your first job, right, and now you're looking for role change or that sort of stuff, LinkedIn is the place that most recruiters are at. It's free. That's the biggest bonus. And it has much more information than, let's say, probably a Naukri would, without actually going through your CV. So that's the end of the session. Thank you for listening. I wanted to keep it short, probably 30 minutes, but again, as is with most sessions, they overshoot. Yeah, and this is the last slide. So thank you guys for joining in. I hope you learned some things, if not many, at least a thing, if not many, right? And please join us live for the next session that we are gonna have tomorrow. And I hope you have been enjoying these sessions. We'll have quite a few more, and there are different programs that Prepby is offering. I think you have YLP, CC, PM, all with different areas that they are targeting. YLP is more of profile alignment. If you have some things that are not aligned, your interest areas are not aligned directly with your profile, then probably it's something that you may want to look at doing a live project or that sort of stuff. If you are confused about different domains, probably this is again a course that might fancy you. But if you already have clarity, domain clarity, and have alignment, probably then YLP is not the right course for you. Then we have case comms. Again, I think case comms, so everyone should take part. Nevertheless, if you are interested or not in a particular domain, you should give a shot to case comms. And strategy case comms, anybody can try. You are a finance enthusiast, you still can give a shot to strategy case comms. Marketing guys can also give it a shot to strategy case. Anybody, even HR folks can also give a shot to strategy case comms, and people have done well as well. So that is a no-brainer, and it teaches you a lot. Even if you don't win anything, it teaches you a lot. And trust me, it does not take. You don't have to be the first one to get the opportunity. Even the guys who finish on the podium, the first, second, and third, the third one, the guy finishing third also gets opportunities such as PPI, and obviously cash prizes. So, and it's absolutely no-brainer. I would highly recommend that you do case comms. Case comms are very important. Then they are offering, I think, placement mastery, which is domain mastery. So you'll learn about different domains, but it's more tailored around your placement specific needs, interviews, and your GDs, okay, and how to prepare your CV, because most likely by the time you take PM, your CVs would already be frozen, right? If not, if you, I think, opt early, then probably you can try and get your CVs rectified and corrected. Yeah, so that's majorly about it, and I think that's the end of the slide. So again, thank you for listening, and Sumit, I think we can stop the live telecast and the recordings, and then probably I'll take some questions, and then we'll close. It's already, I think, 11.